What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Yak Nasty Fishing. You know where you at, and I'm your guy, Jay Small. And today's episode is going to be about winter fishing, all right? And how to catch these bass all winter long with a few baits that I have the utmost confidence in, guys. So stick around. You don't want to miss out. So, guys, as you know, it's wintertime. It is getting cold. It is getting frigid, okay? Air temperatures I've had so far this year experienced in the 30s, all right? We've already had our first ice on the water, and we still got a little bit of ice on the water right now. Some of these smaller ponds and lakes are closed off completely. Yeah, cold, I'm telling you. So with that being said, make sure before we get into baits and getting out on the water, before you get out on the water, make sure you have everything you need to be safe on the water, guys, all right? Your life jackets. If you got dry suit, your dry suits, all right? If you have just total rain gear, anything like that, that can help you be protected out in that cold weather and in sticky situations, bring all of it, okay, guys? If you got hand warmers, foot warmers, anything like that, make sure you're bringing enough water. Get you a thermos, put some coffee in it, some tea, hot chocolate, all right, something warm. Okay, guys, bring those things out with you and make sure you're protecting yourself in these cold conditions, and always have a backup plan, guys. Before we get too deep in the baits, go ahead and hit that like, hit subscribe, holler at your guy in the comments section. You know, the channel's growing. We're over 600 subscribers now, guys. We're getting some growth in. So, man, I really appreciate it. And coming up will be some more bait topics. It's going to be the tournaments of 2025 getting broken down, okay, guys? And much more coming with that being said. So, yeah, man, stick around. Hit like. Hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. All right, guys, so let's get into wintertime bass fishing, all right? And I'm probably gonna include, it's also helpful for pickerel as well, all right, guys? So wintertime bass fishing, my goodness, a lot of guys struggle getting out there in the cold water, you know, the cold air temperature. It's already a hassle. Nobody likes to be uncomfortably cold, right? With your numb toe and all that good stuff. I hate cold weather, but I love fishing. So I go fishing. I have to say, you do catch some really big fish in the wintertime, okay? You can. You have the potential to catch your PB in the wintertime. A few years ago, I caught my PB in the wintertime. I was fishing the willow head, what is it? The willow bladed Z-Man jig head, okay? Yep, and I had a little swim bait on the back of that thing, and my goodness, and wow, yeah, I was just pendulum that thing. I was just letting the pendulum, you know, the video's up on the tube somewhere, guys. I was about to pull it up on the computer. Since then, of course, you know, I've gotten a couple more PBs to stack on top of that one, but it no longer holds the top spot. But at that time, it did. It was over 5 pound fish, and man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Unintentionally, I just gave you a bait I have confidence in, but it is not on today's list. So yeah, go check that out. It's a little willow blade on that ball head jig, and made by Z-Man. Throw that. It is nice. You'll see it. You'll know exactly what I was talking about. All right, that thing gets bit. So guys, getting into winter bass fishing, it's cold, it's miserable, it is ridiculously crazy to go out in 32-degree weather, okay, with a little breeze on it at that, to go catch these little green fish. But that's okay. I guess I'm crazy, and a lot of you guys are insane as well. But it's what we're here to do, right? Crazy talk. So with that being said, the very first bait, and you guys know it has to be on the list, all right? Some of you guys that have been around, you know, a couple times, you guys know that this bait has to be on the list for a wintertime confidence bait. All right. And this bait is the jerk bait. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Jerk bait. Real, simple, easy, always works. Jerk bait. Now, a lot of people say, well, you got to fish the jerk bait really, really slow. Yes, that works. You can also fish it quickly. All right, guys. A reaction strike is a reaction strike. All right. So a summertime reaction strike is just about the same as a wintertime reaction strike. The only difference is when you hook up on that fish in the summertime, that fish is fighting, it is aggressive, it is trying to get off that hook. In the wintertime, most of the time, you can bring that fish in without much fight. Okay, guys? But a jerk bait, I love to throw a jerk bait. All right, this one here is a Lucky Craft. It's the Pointer SP. And this guy here dives down a little bit deeper. If you have deeper waters, deeper ledges and edges, all right, yeah, you could throw one that gets down 8 to 10 foot. Awesome. All right. Most of the time, I'm finding myself throwing something real basic. Now, let me get this off of here. Yeah, most of the time, you see this ripstop right here. All right, the ripstop. This bait gets bit, it goes down 2 to 3, maybe 4 foot deep. All right, a little bit of suspension on this bait right here. It doesn't have I do not like high float jerk baits. All right, I like a suspending jerk bait or one that slowly sinks. Okay, guys, I don't like a floating. I just don't. I don't know what it is, but that suspending or that slow sinking jerk bait always do the trick for me. All right. I've even weighted some down to get the bite that I was looking for. All right. But the ripstop, this is for your shallow stuff. All right. This is for your shallower waters, your flat bays, stuff like that. This thing gets bit. Man, the colors on it, it just looks so natural when you get it out there. You throw it and you give it a look, especially in that clear water, this thing really gets bit, guys. So a jerk bait is a very awesome way to fish in the wintertime, to stay moving as you're jerking that bait, right? It's keeping you active. It's keeping you going. You don't feel the cold so much, guys. So yeah, the jerk bait is one to help you out, help you one to stay active. And that is an awesome search bait to find out what area those fish are living in, guys. So get yourself a jerk bait. All right. Base it upon the area you live in, like this Stacy 80, that dives down pretty deep. Okay. You see the bill on that? It gets down there. You see it's translucent for a little bit clear water. All right, clear water. And this thing gets down deep. Okay, and works fantastic. So base it upon the area you live in. If your water is no deeper than 10 feet, well, you probably don't need a Stacy 80 guy. You probably don't. I'm willing to bet that you can get away with the Pointer SP for suspending. All right. You can get a Lucky Craft. All right. The Berkeley Stunner, really good jerk bait as well. There are a lot out there on the market. Rapalas, all of them. Jerk baits are out there. Pick your choice and, keep it natural. I love to keep my colors natural in the wintertime. All right. Not real crazy. Maybe a touch of chartreuse on there or orange or something like that and some flash, but natural colors, natural presentation, guys. So, yeah, jerk bait. All right. Bait number 2 that I like to throw in the wintertime. It just keeps me in motion. It keeps me going. Um, it gets a good reaction strike as well. Okay. Very good search bait. And if you're accurate, you can fish it around like a larger cover. Okay. Larger cover, bridge pylon, stuff like that. But I wouldn't go too close to the cover because these treble hooks ain't no joke, guys. And what I'm talking about is a lipless. Yeah, lipless crankbait. All right, this one here is one of the KVD Strike King ones right here. So Red Eye Shad edition right here. Okay, You see, very natural golden shiner color. All right, and I have a more natural whiter color, chromer color. All right, so I do have natural colors. I love using this red two tap. All right, this is a red eye shad two tap right here. All right, this guy, you hear that? Very low tone. It's not a high BB rattle. It has that lower tone to it. Okay, guys, that is something I pay attention to when I'm choosing baits that make noise or have rattles in them, is I'm looking for the low tones. All right, something with that little bit of bass to it. All right, that one knock sound. All right, I don't like the 20,000 BBs sound really, really loud. Sometimes the fish love it, all right? And that's when you'll pick up something like your Cordell spots right here, you know? Yeah, that high pitch rattle, all right? Yeah, when they're ready for something that makes some noise, yeah, I'll grab this. This has a slower fall, works fantastic in shallower water, guys, all right? Now, when you're having an issue with those larger liplesses, okay, it just seems like you're not getting the bite you're looking for, go ahead and downsize, okay? So you see the size difference in these guys? Yeah, yeah, just that simple. You make a switch, natural color, look at that. This is beautiful. And this is one of the ARC lipless crankbaits. What is that, upside down? Yeah, all right, yep. There you go. I don't know. Can you see it? Yep. So that's an arc lipless crankbait, and this thing is pretty awesome. What is this one? Yeah, the LP38. This thing gets bit. Okay, I love using this one more than most of my lipless crankbaits. Okay, so this is number two. My Strike Kings are number one. Mainly the two taps or the one knockers, stuff like that with the lower tone, even the silent versions. I love to throw a lipless, all right? And if this doesn't do it, guys, you just pull out your BFS stuff right here. You see that? Look at the size of that small lipless. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's crazy talk, right? It is teeny. That's teeny. And let's look at it compared to this one. Very small lipless, all right? So I will downsize. Most of the time I use that little one when I'm out crappie fishing, okay? Bass will eat that for sure, but I love using that smaller one when I'm out crappie fishing. It is just a fun bite on that BFS setup. I do have a BFS setup, and I'll be talking to you guys about that here shortly. I've been doing a lot of playing, experimenting, and when we get to talking about it, guys, you're definitely gonna know it's amazing. But yeah, it's okay to downsize and get to those smaller baits because you will be surprised how many big fish eat those teeny baits, guys. Yeah, so get yourself a lipless crankbait. All right, choose a natural color. Your reds, your oranges do good as well. Okay, I love a low tone. And how you're gonna fish it is you're just gonna give her a little yo-yo action. You can give her a slow, straight back retrieve with pauses in that thing. All right, use your reel and impart that action on there. I do it all the time. If you can use one hand, I will put one hand on there and just flick my reel like this, and the other hand is in the pocket. Okay, guys, I will do that. I do it with jerk baits as well, and sometimes it comes back and bites me in the butt when I only have one hand and there's a fish tugging on the other end. Okay, guys. So sometimes it can bite you in the butt, but you know, to warm up that real hand, I will put that in my pocket real fast and work a cast with one hand. I will work that lipless, the yo-yo, the straight back retrieve. I will let it get down on the bottom, give it a little flip flop, and then pull it back up on those spots with hard bottom, okay, and a good hard composition to them. It works really, really good in those conditions. Uh, Cloudy days, okay, just a little bit of overcast can definitely help that bite as well, guys. So a lipless is really, really good for the winter time. Just take your time with him, gain your confidence in it, and you will get big, guys. All right. So moving on to bait number three. Bait number three is one of my favorite things. I gotta say, it's at the top of my list what I like to do overall all year long. But in the wintertime, I definitely keep one of these tied on, and that is a crankbait, just a traditional crankbait. All right, guys. Now I'm gonna throw a twist in there for you because y'all know this is a Googan right here. This is a nice one. Dives down 3 to 5 foot. You know, I love that size. You see, it's a very similar style bait right here. But we all know I love my 1.5 KVDs. Come on, man. Now this one here, you see it's very natural. It has that chartreusey whiteness to it. It has that blend of natural color going in, and that paint job is so great. Yeah, guys, I love the finish on the 1.5 KVD. You guys know I will throw a 1.5 KVD all year long. I have done so, and I've caught big fish on a KVD 1.5. But as you can tell, this one is silent, okay? Silent will get bit. It doesn't always have to rattle, make a bunch of noise. A nice silent crankbait, that vibration it gives off, okay? That natural appearance. This has a wobble to it, that 1.5. I like to drag that bait through and then reel in the slack and then drag that bait through, okay? It's almost like a burn pause. You can burn and pause these things too. Tactical Bassin talks about it all the time. A lot of people are starting to catch on to that as well. But ooh, I do love to drag my bait and then reel my slack in and then drag. Okay. I seem to get more bites that way. Um, Sometimes I'll do the real work on it, reel, pause it, pause it, reel, pause it, get that real erratic hunting action out of a crankbait. Sometimes I do a regular slow, like really slow retrieve, and that will get bit as well. I've caught some big ones doing that as well. Just a slow, straight back retrieve, maybe a pause here and there, and you will get bit, guys. But I do love my drag technique, all right? It works, it gets bit, all right, guys? That's just your regular 1.5 size, square bill, KVD, regular crankbait, okay, guys? What I really do like to use as well is that tighter wobble, the flat-sided crankbait. This right here is the Strike King Chick Magnet. Yep, it's got that little switchboard lip to him, it's a little round right there. Look at that, and you see how flat that thing is on the side. This has a tight wobble to it, okay? It doesn't do what the 1.5 KVDs or those regular conventional full-bodied crankbaits do. No, this is a little tighter wobble, a little bit tighter action, okay? You can move it a little bit slower in there, and I like to bring that in with the reel sometimes and just pause it and then hit it with the reel again, pause it, hit it with the reel again, pause it, okay? And I do also like to drag it, all right? So a flat side crankbait will do the trick. Look at this one. Yes, indeedy. Now, this one has low tone rattles to it. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is a low tone rattle, all right? Now, this one here, silent, okay? Guys, don't be afraid to use silent baits. And this flat side right here, the Lucky Craft right there, that gets bit. Yeah, nothing like a silent bait, man. It will, they don't see silent baits that often with this profile. And so you will definitely get bit, guys. No games, no jokes. Try a silent bait. Yeah, guys. So a silent crankbait, yeah, it gets bit. A lot of guys, they don't really mess with the silent baits, man. And the silent ones are the silent ones, okay? Those are silent assassins. When guys are like, what are you throwing? You just say, I'm throwing a crankbait. And they're like, man, I threw a crankbait. I was throwing my flat side. I was throwing my 1.5s. I was throwing my DT6s and 3s. But they all had that rattle to them, okay? And these fish, they hear rattles all the time. So if you throw a silent one, they just Feel that vibration coming. So when it comes up real close to them, it's bam, reaction. Okay. Get that thing close, reaction. You get it in that visual, perimeter of that fish and they react. Okay. Because it's not a rattling bait. It's not an annoying, crazy sound. Well, this is probably not the best one to use. Let's find something with some BBs in it. It's not that sound. All right. It is a completely nothing sound. So try those silent baits, guys. You will be surprised the reaction you get. Don't forget, downsize. Okay, this right here, very small Strike King, little small KVD shad right there. All right, but you see, also silent. Yeah, guys. Yeah, this right here. Woo-hoo-wee. Another crankbait before we get into where we're gonna throw these baits. Money Badger, guys. The Money Badger is flawless, okay? When I first got one, I heard that. You hear that rattle? It's different. It sounds different. It's not a really loud, crazy, but it is not a very low toned or silent, okay? It has a very different sound and it has a nice hunting action to it. And that Money Badger, man, get the Money Badger. In the wintertime, this crankbait is awesome. So guys, we're gonna talk about where we're gonna throw these 3 baits. And then I'm gonna give you 2 more slow down and pick them off baits, guys. So where we're gonna throw these 3 baits, all right? The jerk bait, the lipless, the crankbait. Where we're gonna throw these baits is going to be points, edges, and ledges. Okay. And if you have a grass lake or grass pond, okay, right there too. All right. Those grass edges, all right, off the top of that grass pretty slow. Okay. Taking off the top of that thing with your lipless, hitting it with the jerk bait over the top of the grass. Draw those fish up out of the grass. Okay. Yeah. Points, edges, and ledges. All right, so we know what points is, your main lake points, your secondary points, stuff like that. Definitely check those out. All right, edges, like the edges of grass. Okay, if you still have grass in there, you know, your little drop off edges. Okay, not necessarily the ledges. Ledges are more so, the highland water type reservoirs, got the rocky stuff. You got a ledge down 12 foot and it drops down to, 30 foot. There's another ledge. Okay, your ledges, your hard ledges. Yeah. So your edges of grass, your edges of cover. Okay. Yeah. And your ledges. And you got your crankbaits, you get your lipless down there. If you have those deeper diving Stacy 80 type jerk baits, that water's normally clear as well. Okay, your deeper diving crankbaits, your DT6s, 3s, 10s, those things. All right, that's for your ledges. Okay, your clear water, deeper water. All right, guys. In a nutshell, that's where you're gonna throw those treble hook baits. Now, if you've been fishing for a while, you're pretty accurate with your casting, you can get up there on that heavier cover around the bridges, around those bigger laydowns, tick the side or the top of the brush pile, stuff like that, if you have experience with your equipment and you know what you're doing with it. But for starters, if you're just now getting out there, you're just looking for some tips, points, edges, ledges. There's normally not a whole lot to get hung up on, okay? You can throw it with that rip wrap off the points and your bridge pilings, okay? That rip wrap works awesome with your regular crankbaits or your flat side crankbaits. If you got that rip wrap, you can bring it on down there and have it ticking on it a little bit slow, you know what I mean? You can drag it, you can do a burn pause, all that stuff in those areas, all right? So those treble hook baits, points, edges, ledges. So let's move on to the baits that we're gonna fish when we need to slow down. We found the fish, we found the area that the fish are gonna be in, and now we're just trying to pick some off. We're trying to maybe look for a bigger fish. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, one of the first things I like to throw is a worm. And with that worm, I'm throwing it on a shaky head, guys. Yeah, shaky head. I love throwing a shaky head. It's been a little while because I've been doing so many other things with different kind of baits, testing out new baits, guys. Wow. Wait till you guys see what I've been playing with, man. You're gonna be like, wow, that's crazy. I've been learning some stuff, y'all. But it's not tournament ready yet. It's just me learning stuff. So the shaky head is a great bait. You just throw it down, you can slow down with it, okay? And you can also speed up with a shaky head, all right? You can put a trick worm on there and move it a little faster, work that thing a little quicker down on the bottom or in through some of those laydowns or brush piles, okay? If you got something around riprap, maybe the outer edges of the riprap, don't throw it in the riprap because these get caught up in the rocks. Okay, it finds a hole, it's in there. It's in there. Okay, sometimes you can get them out, but it's in there. Okay, guys. Unless you got a football head, I probably wouldn't throw this style into the riprap. But a shaky head, man. And if you put a worm on there that floats or has a floating tail, that's even better because you could throw it out there. You can put your hands in your pocket and just let it do its thing. And then you'll give it a little twitch, okay? Just a little bit, or drag it along the bottom a little bit, okay? I find that this can get bit better than your, conventional Ned rigs. The Ned does get bit. It's a smaller presentation, smaller offering, but I think a full size, 6-inch worm, 5-inch worm, 4-inch worm will get bit. Okay. Trust me, a shaky head works fantastic. You can throw the wacky rig too if you want. That will get bit as well. A lot of people don't even realize it in the wintertime. It'll get bit too. Yeah. But I love throwing the shaky head. It works great. Get some Z-Man worms on there. You can throw it out there and it'll do its little float thing. You have secondary action and you can get bit. So when in doubt, go ahead and pull you a shaky head out. You can get bit, guys. You see I got the color here, pink. Okay, that bubble gum right there, that's a zoom worm here. And it does okay. I like pink. I use it. I tie it on. I throw it. But I do like, my watermelon with the pearl white colors, mixed in, or some watermelon with the black flake, some green pumpkin. Sometimes I like a green pumpkin with like a burnt sienna orange on the bottom. Okay, a little bit of contrast. And sometimes I like to throw colors that people just aren't throwing. Okay, it tends to help get the bite. All right, black, blue, flake always gets bit. Um, Great color worms, throw out there and try them out. You will get bit, guys. You will get bit. All right, another bait that I have the utmost confidence in, I mean, the highest level of confidence in this bait, in this technique. If you don't know what I'm going to say, you ain't been here long enough. And if you know, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a jig. Yeah. You see, that's a full size, looking jig. It's not totally full. I think it's probably about a 4-inch, 4.5-inch bait right here. So it's not 100% full size, full big bait. But this is a full size jig right here, man. Yeah. Okay, this is my 1/2 ounce right here. This is nice. Okay, this is a Dirty Jigs. All right, I got this one this big for you guys. It's just easier to see in the camera. But yeah, this 1/2 ounce, these colors, that green pumpkin has that burnt orangey color in there. You see that orange? All right, and then of course I have that Weedleton Baits crawl on that thing. It just matches that just right, man. If I had to pick just a jig, if I have no choice, they say, give me one jig, it's going to be this. All right. The Dirty Jigs go to, because it's very easy. You can put whatever trailer on this jig. This is a pitching jig as well, guys. So a pitching jig, you can skip it, you can throw it just about anywhere, and you can swim it back to the boat if you have to. So it's just like an all-purpose 4x4 jig. All right. Now, the only thing I would change is the size. I wouldn't throw a 1/2 ounce everywhere. I will throw a 3/8 everywhere. Okay. So I also have this in 3/8. I think one's tied on the ride out in the truck, but I always have one tied on, jig of some sort. All right. I love throwing a jig. Look at that guy, a little bit smaller. This right here is my 1/8 ounce jig. Nice hand tied, wire tie skirt on it. I do it myself. I do love to, purchase some heads, some good quality heads, whether it be from like Dirty Jigs, Tackle Warehouse heads, stuff like that. And I will just make my own colors. So you see that watermelon, got some green pumpkin, got the orange in there. You see the colors I'm using, okay? I'm using those for a reason. And I also love my peanut butter jelly. If you were here, if you've been here for a while, I love a peanut butter jelly jig with a green pumpkin trailer. There's not one on this one, but a peanut butter jelly jig. And you see that's 3/8 right here, all day long. You can throw this all day with your green pumpkin trailer on there. Not a whole lot of crazy action. All right. You can throw a double tail grub on there in that cold water. It's going to move a little bit. It's not going to be like crazy flapping like a rage crawl or something like that. Okay. Now, those days when there's a warming trend and these fish are really active, yeah, you could probably throw that rage crawl on there and get bit. Get that good old crazy action. But I tend to use things like a little bit stiffer. Like this isn't a real, flexible bait. It doesn't kick real crazy. And if you don't pull that tab in between them, you keep it all together in one flap. So it's just doing this. It's not doing all this crazy. All right. It's just kind of, I'm here. All right, guys. So get a trailer that doesn't really go crazy. You don't want it to be an unnatural presentation. You want it to be as natural as possible. All right. And, when need be, you can tighten up, okay, that presentation. Like look at the size difference in these. Tighten it up. A more compact presentation. And you see the colors. I got the green pumpkin, black, some red, a little blue flake in there. But I have it with the green pumpkin, Christy Crawl in the camo color. You see that red, gold, orange on the bottom there? Okay. Your trailer doesn't have to match the skirt. Okay. It's not an outfit. Okay. It can be if that's what you want. Okay. I did it here, right? I do it when I want to do it, I feel like it needs to be done, but it doesn't have to match it. Okay, guys. And a great example is another one of my favorites, this guy. Okay. Now you see, that's a more pointy style head. It's more like a swim jig setup, right? But I fish it more like a pitching jig. All right. I put a heavier skirt on here. I put some crazy good colors on there. My green pumpkins. You see my orange. You see that black to give it a little contrast and difference as it's waving in the water there. But the trailer on this is black and blue. Just like that. Black and blue. Okay. This I call confusion. Okay. Yeah. I think that this has so many different colors on it. And then the way I have it set up, that it just gets bit because it's different. They're just like, I don't know what it is. It looks edible and it looks kind of threatening. I don't know what it's here for. So I'm going to eat it before it can do anything to me. Right. I don't know what the fish think, but this here, I'm calling confusion, dude. It works fantastic, okay? And those smaller football head jigs. So when I get on some of those harder bottoms and I find some rip wrap around them bridges, yeah, I will throw that. That is an 1/8 ounce, 1/8 ounce football head jig, guys. Very slow fall. That's what I want. I throw it out there. I want this to fall so slow, and it's just falling, 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 falling. Because sometimes you get bit on the fall a lot of times. Okay, guys? So, yeah, sometimes, a lot of times you get bit on the fall. Okay, yeah, that didn't make no sense. Yeah, when you get what I'm saying? Once I put that trailer on there, you throw it out there, just let it do its thing. And guys, you can get bit. The jig is awesome. And the shaky head as well. So those two baits, you're gonna throw those when you get around fish, or you catch some fish here, you caught one there, you caught one over there. Oh, I'm around these fish. Let me slow down. Okay. So when that bite starts to slow down on you, because you threw the crankbait, you threw your jerk bait, they done seen you lipless, throw that shaky head, throw that jig down up in that cover, and you will get bit. So we have the first three that's looking for the fish, that's finding fish, that's causing reaction bites. Okay. That's the action and the movement and the erraticness, and keeps that blood pumping in the wintertime. And the last two, the shaky head, the jig, guys. Come on, you're going to throw those around docks, hard cover, everywhere, brush piles. You could throw those anywhere you want, but I love throwing those in the cover, and especially cover that warms up faster than everything else in the water, guys. Okay, there you go. 5 baits that I have confidence in that I can fish all winter long, every winter. I had success with these baits last, oh man, I don't know how many years. So, I've been using this same combination of baits. If I go somewhere and I don't know it very well, I'm throwing these, and then I will adapt from there. Also, I will throw a minnow. Okay, guys, I will throw a jig head minnow. When in doubt, I will also throw one of those out. Okay, a jig head minnow works as well. But of course, we all know that that has been the crazy forward facing sonar bait of all times in the last 3 years, even though, I've been throwing it since I was a kid, and it's been catching with no electronics, guys. So you don't need electronics for any of these things. All right, you really don't. Okay, electronics just help you figure out where the fish are. And yeah, with all that being said, guys, I hope you learned something. I hope you like the bait selection here that I got confidence in. If you use these baits, put it down in the comments, guys. And if you don't, let me know what you use, because I always like to learn something new, man. I tell you, if you got the juice, I'm willing to listen, and then I'm willing to go try it out. All right, guys. And don't forget, support your guy. The road to the classic. I qualify for the classic kayak division, guys. We're going to Tennessee in March. All right. And if you want to help support that cause, okay, guys, if you want to help support me getting to Tennessee, all the information will be down below in the description. Whatever you want to donate, if you want to sponsor, I'll put your name up here. All right. It doesn't matter. I'll put your name in the credits and at the beginning if you want. Okay. If you want to sponsor, if you want to help out and put in on these expenses, to get to Tennessee. And I really appreciate all the love and the support you guys have been giving me throughout the years of doing this channel. I think it's been about 3 years now. So, hopefully we can get monetized here shortly, y'all. We can just go on and get it right now. I might travel to your town soon. I don't even know where this is going. With that being said, I appreciate it. Thanks again. And it's my time. So tight lines and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace. Dang, I think that one was going somewhere, but I think I messed it up there. Rambling. One more time.